Alright guys, Bar G Tinkering back at you with another video. This one's going to be freaking awesome. We're going to be going over the 30-06. Your granddad's, your dad's cartridge. Hey, it doesn't matter how many generations it spans for how long that rifle's been around. It's still a great cartridge. So hang tight. We're going to go over this cartridge, how good it is for this day and age, and what makes it new again. So the story of the 30-06 is pretty well told. Started back in 1903. Parent case is the 30-03. Now that cartridge, very similar to this guy right here. What you had, let's get some good focus in there. Mainly just a longer neck right here for the cartridge. It was spitting out some 220 grain round nose bullets. Not uber super fast. Military decided, hey, that's not what we're really wanting. We need to switch some things up to some 150 grain spire points. So they went ahead and did. Came out 30-06, taking a 150 grain bullet and pushing it 2750. Now, some of the purpose behind that was to make sure, hey, this .6 can be a cartridge that people can shoot all day long. Some unique things with being able to be shot all day long is also being able to shot in any rifle platform. Historically, back in World War I, World War II, you had bolt action rifles. Not like this, but this rifle is a bolt action. This is actually a Winchester XPR. But you also had rifles that were semi-auto, like the M1 Garand, and automatic rifles like the BAR, the Browning automatic rifle. So this cartridge had to have a lot of versatility behind it. Smooth and easy to feed, reliable, and just all around just solid. I wouldn't say it was necessarily anything to be like a Magnum or anything, but it just needed to be solid for the technology of the day. Now, let's go look over at the cartridge, see what we can find of how well it was designed back then, and how it compares to some of today's cartridges and what makes it so great. Sammy's specs for the 30-06 Springfield. So, issued last update to these drawings looks to be May 19th of 2022. Now, with looking at this, we can kind of see this is what we were just kind of in reference to. Obviously, we have standard head, that 473 minus about 10 thou. Go up, you have a max case overall length that you're wanting of 2.4, basically 2.494, pretty much 2.5 inches long, with an overall case length or cartridge overall length of 3340. This is your standard. This is what we're going after. Some things I kind of want to point out that are actually very unique that we might see in today's day and age is if we look over here, I'm going to highlight it right there. That 1 degree or 1 degree 22 minutes. That's what we're talking about right there. So on modern day cartridges, most famously and notably the PRC cartridges and Creedmoors of such, they have 1 degree 30 minutes or 1.5 degrees. This .6, back over 100 years ago, had almost the exact same thing going for it. Like, we're not talking something strange and outside the box here. And even on some more modern cartridges, we'll scroll down here. This is on Sammy's website, so you guys can go and find that. We'll keep scrolling down. PRC, SOM, RUM, RCM, Savage, Weatherby, Winmac. Here we go. 300 Winchester Short Magnum. So we're talking back early 2000s, 2001. 1 degree 30 minutes, 1.5 degrees. Kind of the same thing. You have the max where you're neck can go up to, and then it's straight into that lead angle. Pt.6 had it. Very, very similar. You're going to get a little bit longer lead angle in the Pt.6, but nothing appreciable compared to this 300 Wisdom. Just something kind of neat to kind of look about and just kind of think, hey, back in the day, this was made to be a pretty reliable cartridge. Just from all around accuracy and everything, and in the right cartridge or in the right gun built properly, you can have just a load of fun shooting this rifle. We'll get back over a reloading bench and kind of go over some of its modern day updates, kind of what it compares to and all. Okay, we're going to be hitting those new updated loadings, kind of hitting a few bullets and options here. So a few common ones. Hopefully we get a little bit of what everyone likes to shoot. Not going to be perfect, but we're going to be focusing in around that 180 grain range. So if we look at Hornady with the 178 ELDX, you're going 2750 feet per second. This is all factory ammunition, by the way. 2750 feet per second, 178 grain. Now remember, that's what they were loading 150s with back in the day. And I have loaded 150 ballistic tips going 2750, and it is a pleasant to shoot. It is, for all, yeah, it's just a pleasure to shoot. I've even had some of my younger sisters shoot that load, and oh, it's cool to watch them smile. I would say at that point it matches very, very similar to say a 7.8 6.5 Creedmoor, somewhere in that recoil range. Like, it is very, very reasonable and fun to shoot. Now these newer 180 grain bullets going a little bit quicker, around that 2750 to 2800 in factory loadings, you're going to feel a little bit more recoil, and it's going to be significant. And even with the 150 loadings these days, you're up to factory ammo being around 3,000 feet per second. But I'm just going to be highlighting the rest of these loadings. Winchester loads this guy, that 190 grain AccuBond long range. That guy's also going 2750. That one has a G1 BC of 0.597, G7.301. Dude, like, if that shoots out of your rifle, you can't complain about the performance of that on anything. Like, that's gonna be an awesome load. Now, I've also tinkered around with some of the Burger loads. Burger just barely announced they're going to be doing factory ammunition, and that's using Lapua brass. Think about that, guys. Lapua brass for an Pt.6 and factory ammunition, that's going to be awesome. I've tinkered around with those 185 hybrid targets, and those ones I have gone around 2820 feet per second with N160. It works really, really well. Don't have any more of those loaded. Shot all of them, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. I had a blast shooting that load. Just gonna have to load some more up. Oh well. Another load for those of you guys who love monolithics. Barnes has the 175 LRX for you guys with a ballistic coefficient G1 of 0.508. That's also going 2,800 feet a second. I don't recall if I've tried that in this rifle before. I want to say I have. I don't remember it being too happy. But those are just some of the modern loads that you can buy off the shelf. Now, let's get into kind of the little bit of the meat of what I want to do with this rifle. So, the story kind of goes for me back when I bought this rifle. I bought this rifle in 2017. Black Friday weekend, and I had planned it out because Winchester Browning, they usually run a rebate. So this rifle, it's a Winchester XPR. I got it with scope combo. Obviously, this is a Nikon scope. Let's see if we can get you guys to see that really quick. Come on, be happy. Nikon. If you guys can see that. Yeah, old Nikon scope. So back in 2017, this gun I've had for almost 7 years, and I've loved it. I mean, what kind of got me to look at this rifle more seriously is I was in the market for getting a .6, and I think it was Scout Outlook back in the day. For those of you who can remember, I think they're Hunt Stand now, but they had the previous year, I want to say 2016, a rifle shootout with about a smattering of about 10 different rifles using different loads. And this one, it was a Winchester rifle. The XPR, it shot the best. That is something that actually convinced me to buy this rifle. I was really excited. Went to the store, went to my local gun shop, bought this rifle, sent in all the information needed for the rebate. Got the rebate, and I want to say it was around $600 back then. Nowadays, I think you're just getting the bare rifle for around $600, so not too bad. I mean, with inflation and all, that's still not too terrible. But this rifle, it features a 24-inch barrel, which is very, very nice. I do like the velocity I get out of it. Just, I can really take advantage of the performance this .6 has to offer. Now, what I'm wanting to do with this rifle, I've gotten a few good loads. I've shot 150 ballistic tips, loading with 6.5 stable super performance, and it's going like 3,200 feet a second. Like, it was romping and roaring. Like, we're talking about really itching on the 300 Wisdom, 300 Win Mag, comfortable territory. This is like maxing this guy out. I'm not going to say otherwise with that. It shot pretty darn good. I took that load out to 1,000 with this rifle, with this scope. The scope's just a simple 3-9x40, second focal plane, just using holdovers. It was out of range. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. Loaded up some 180 ballistic tips for a little bit. I wasn't too pleased with them, at least for what I was looking for. And then I went to some 185 Burger, what is it? 185 Burger hybrid targets. Yep, those bullets. Loaded those guys up, and those ones shot really well. And I was really happy. But there was just something in me that's like, it just reached back. Because I started off buying just your simple cheap boxes. Like, just for shooting, I was buying these guys. I was happy to shoot these guys. 150 grains, you could pick this box up for anywhere from 20 to 22 bucks. 150 grain PowerPoints. I also shot 180 grainers. I liked shooting both of them. Just both. They shot well at 100 yards. I was happy. I was like, if I ever go hunting, this was before I kind of learned about how different bullets behave differently. Kind of my progression is I was going to buy that 190 grain AccuBomb long range factory ammunition. And I was wanting to go on a deer hunt with that load. Now, since then, I've been able to shoot that ammunition, and it shot decently well. Now that I have some more experience under my belt with hand loading and all, and I have some 190 AccuBomb long ranges, I want to challenge myself a little. And it may be a bit of a process, but what I want to do is I want to get those 190 AccuBomb long ranges in this rifle. I want to see if I can get them to shoot a 1/2-inch group. Now that's going to be a tall order. The AccuBomb long range either has a reputation of being a pretty easy bullet to get to shoot well, or it's going to be hard. I got some good things going for me. The chamber obviously has that degree in 22 minutes of a lead angle. Very similar to some of the PRC and even what other custom rifle makers will throw in any cartridge these days. But I'm going to use good powder. I'm going to be trying out with N550. Now, this one, it will do pretty darn well. I use Gordon's reloading tool. And it's not for Apple, so I have to go through Windows on my computer and blah, blah, blah. But just looking at it, I should be able to get about 2,800 feet a second, still stay around that 58,000 psi, 59,000 psi, be very, very comfortable. I don't see what I can do. I got a week or so before I can hit the range, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to load some up, probably do a separate video loading next week, and we'll go from there. But that's what I'm looking forward to. Let me know what you guys think. It's 30-06. It's my rifle. I've enjoyed shooting it, learning it, getting my teeth cut on shooting with an .06. Oh, it's just fun. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe. You know the drill.